Hi everyone, I am Payal and I welcome everyone in my today's class wherein we are going to go with the 8th chapter of your economic survey. So yes, we are done with the 7 chapters and today we are going to talk about services sector. So before I jump onto service sector, it is very important for all of us to know that we are continuously engaged in the trade of goods and services that are there. Now I took two words here, which is one goods and another one is your services. Now if I specifically talk about goods and services, so what is the one thing that differentiates between both of them? So if I particularly talk about goods, so this is the one which you are able to touch. It means the goods are tangible in nature. And similarly, if I talk about services that are also that are also continuously exchanged between us and the rest of the nations. But what is that particular thing which differentiates it from goods? So we have this thing that, services are non-tangible in nature. Of course, you can feel, when services are getting exchanged, but you cannot touch it. So we have the thing which is which is tangibility that differentiates these two of the concepts which are known as goods as well as services. Now in this particular chapter we'll see that what is all about goods, how India's what is all about services, how India's services is specifically contributing to the global services and how it is contributing to your national income, to your GVA and the rest of the things that are associated with it. Now we'll see particularly the rest of the services, you can say activities. Even if I talk about IT, even if I talk about education, we'll see you can say separately the activities also, in which we'll see that what is the position of different activities and how they are contributing to the India's development as well as to the global development also. So here we have a chapter which is known as your services, new challenges for the old war house. Now first, if I specifically talk about insights, so now it says that services sector driving GDP growth in financial year 25 despite the weak global trade. So it says that we are at this position just because of a lot of geopolitical tensions that are going on, just because of the a large number of uncertainties that are there in our economy. But still, the contribution of services is a good if I specifically talk about the contribution to the development of various nations. So this is what it says. Similarly, exports strengthening India's external balance and boosting the industrial your servicification also. Now servicification specifically means that how you are providing how you are enhancing the activities that are specifically related to services that is particularly leading to the development of any of your sector. That is known as servicification. So logistics की अगर मैं बात करूँ, so you can see it rebounded to the pre-pandemic levels enhanced by your digitalization. Now rest of the things that are associated here, so you can see that India is a key player in the global tech through digital and adoption in the businesses or your processes. Similarly, we have ONDC also, which is there to promote inclusive digital transformation. Skill development, which is there, and transparent governance is crucial for the resilience and growth. So it says that if you want to become more transparent in nature, if you want to grow, then skill is one of its features which you need to adopt. And similarly, you have to ensure that we are going with the governance, but that is very transparent in nature. So that is what has been mentioned in this particular survey. Now we come on to the introduction part. So you can see now firstly we'll see that what is the global significance of the services sector, how it is impacting at the global perspective. So you can see here that 62% of the global GDP comes from the services sector only. So more than half of the GDP is from the services sector only. Now you consider this thing that what is the contribution of the industrial sector and what is the contribution of your primary sector. So more than half is just contributed by your services sector only. So it means that despite being this thing that our primary sector is not growing, it is not contributing much in our in our GDP, or you can say in the calculation of our national income. But services sector is the one which is highly contributing to the development of any of the nations, because we are watching this thing that 60%, 62% is at the global GDP, you can say. So we are talking about the global perspective. So it is not just the case of India only. Even even if I talk about the global perspective, a lot of things, a lot of activities of the various countries are just involved in the services. So you can see here that any of the country is contributing high in the development of its services sector. Now services have been driven have driven growth in the middle income countries like your China, Thailand and India over the last decade. Similarly, if I talk about the economic trends and inflation, so euro areas are the one which have been slowed down, but they are expected to improve in the year of 2025. This was just due to the rising servicing activities. So we are watching that euro areas are those areas in which we are watching this thing, that there is a slowdown, but we are expecting that it would grow over a period of time. Similarly, if we see the nominal wage growth post pandemic, that is higher, and it is one of the reasons which has kept service inflation high, which is slowing down your disinflation wala problem. Okay. So this is one of the reasons here. Similarly, if I talk about global services PMI, so you can see here that it has rose by 53, it has rose to 53.8, and it is a 4-month high, marking 23rd consecutive month. It means here it started right in December 2024, and it is a 23rd consecutive month. Now we'll talk about the growth in new orders and employment with increasing business confidence. That is also there. Challenges, there are a lot of challenges that are associated with global services sector. So you can see geopolitical uncertainties are there. Now geopolitical uncertainties include a lot of things. For example, your continuous tariff putting, take a people, or you can say your western countries are putting tariff, specifically talking about you can say Trump tariffs that are there. So protectionism policy says that firstly you are taking care of the interest of your own country, and you are not bothered of this thing. Even the step that you are taking, it will hamper the interest of the rest of the nations. You are not bothered of this thing. You are solely interested in taking care of the interest of your own country. Similarly, you have risks that are associated with the services sector stability, that is specifically there due to external shocks. Now it includes a lot of things. For example, you have fights that are going on there, supply chain disruption that is there. Now since fights are going on, how it will impact the rest of the economies. Similarly, you have Trump tariffs also, how it will impact the rest of the country. So these are the things that are there, or you can call it just external shocks, which has potential of hampering your services sector. Now we'll see that what is the India's growing role in the global services trade. So you can see here that India's share in global services exports basically has been rising over the 2 decades, and it also helped in offset fluctuations in the merchandise exports. Merchandise exports, as in I'm specifically here talking about goods only, and it doesn't include services. When it comes about merchandise, so merchandise is a word that is specifically related to goods, and it doesn't include services. That is what is related to merchandise. Similarly, if you consider the India's rank, so it has ranked 7th globally in services exports with 4.3% share, if I specifically talk about 2023. Now you see that what are the global services exporters. Now we are going to talk about the rest of the countries. So you can see here USA has topped here with 13%. Similarly, you have UK with 7.4%. Then you have Germany with 5.4 with 5.5%. It is followed by Ireland, China and France with 5% each. So these are the top global services exporters. Now here you can see that is a chart that is particularly associated with it. So this shows the change in the percentage points. And similarly, if I talk about the you can say the case of 2023, so that specifically shows that what was the condition here. ठीक है, अब ये क्या है, जो red triangles हैं, this shows you the percentage points, the change in the percentage points. Now you can see the India share in the global services as well as India's share excuse me, India's share in the global services exports, and this is your India's share in global merchandise exports. ठीक है, so यहाँ पे you can see that India's share in the global services exports is more than your merchandise exports. So you can consider each and every year. This is a year of 2005, this is a year of 2014, and this is a year of 2023. Now you consider each and every. Of course, there is a sudden rise here, but if you consider the situation, if you compare both merchandise and services, of course, services is always more since 2005. 2025 also. Now we'll see that for what is the performance in India. So it is specifically contributing highly when we calculate GVA. So GVA ki agar main calculation karu, so of course India services is contributing high here. Now you can say that the share in the GVA has been increased from 50.6% in financial year 14 to 55% in financial year 2025. Now it employs, now specifically talking about workforce also. So 30% of the employment is just in the services sector. Similarly, the servicification is there in the manufacturing sector, and when I talk about servicification, so it includes all of the activities that are there to improve the services sector, and it of course leads to the development. So specifically talking about the servicification in the manufacturing sector, so it is also bringing improvement in enhancing your production as well as your post-production value. So now we'll talk about the growth trend. So you can see that year-on-year growth in real GVA has been above 6% every year. Okay. Now except for financial year 2021, which was a COVID year, or you can say this a pandemic year, in which the rest of the economies was just got stagnant. So we have an exception here, which was the year of 2021. Now pre-pandemic situation, if we specifically talk about pre-pandemic situation, so it was just average of 8%, and post-pandemic then got 8.3%. Okay. Post-pandemic got 8.3%. Now you can see that the the growth in the services sector. So there was a dip in the financial year 2021, since it is a COVID you can say pandemic year, and now you can see that there is an improvement here, which is lying at your 8.3. Similarly, you have the services sector, that is share that is there in GVA. So you can see the highest here is in 2025. Similarly, we had we are watching this thing that there was a rise in financial year 2020 also, but then there was a dip, and then it continuously, then there was a further dip, but then after it is continuously rising over the period of time. Now you can see that what are the major subsectors that are associated in the you can say in the services sector. So whenever you talk about giving activities, exchanging things, but those are not tangible in nature, you cannot touch them. So even if I talk about hospitality, even if I talk about services in the health sector, even if I talk about education, I'm teaching you, I'm providing you services. I'm not exchanging goods with you, rather I'm providing you services. So we'll see what are the subsectors here. So trade, repair, hotels, so restaurants, the hospitality that is related to it. Similarly, you have transport. Similarly, you have storage, you have warehousing facilities, you have communication, you have broadcasting, you have financial services, you have telecommunication, you have real estate, ownership of dwelling and professional services, public administration, other services. These all are the services that are connected with the major subsectors. So now you can see subsectors as in subsectors of your services sector. Now we'll see that what is the high growth segments here. So specifically talking about the public administration. So here everything that is related to the governance, that is a part of your public administration, how we government, or you can say how the activities of the government is continuously going on just to take care of the activities of the people. Okay, so everything that is related to the activities of the government, that is a part of your public administration. So you can see here that 11 se leke 12% of the services they are contributing in the GVA. Information and computer related services, so they grew at 12.8 CAGR, and specifically talking about the share in GVA jumped from 6.3% to 10.9%. Okay, now it is showing a resilience during and post-pandemic also. Now we'll see that what does PMI say. So here we are talking about Purchasing Managers Index. So it stayed in a expansion zone for 41 consecutive months. So 41 consecutive months means, so here we are here talking about the year of 2021, and it has specifically grown over the period of time. So it's continuously in an expansion zone. Now you can see that above 60 for the first 5 months of financial year 2025, it dipped in September, but rebounded in October also. Now there is a strong demand, strong continuous demand that is going on just to give boost to your new businesses inflows, output growth, and hiring also. Now it also includes your finance, insurance, so it also see highest growth in new orders as well as your business activities also. Now you can see that below is a contractionary zone, but you can see that it is not connecting to it. If you are able to see, then we have a diversification here. This is in the expansionary zone is in a gray area, and we have contractionary zone in blue, in pink area. So you can see this is differentiation that has been created. So now if you see, there was an exceptional year, that was 2021. So in the middle of you can say in the month of July, there was a dip in the month of June, but after that it started regaining itself, and then after it has not even touched the area of your contractionary zone. It is just continuously expanding, and it is just it has just reached over 59.3. Now we'll see about the trade in services. So services are also just the services exports grew at 11% CAGR. Constant price is there, and specifically talking about the computer and business services, so they make up 70% of exports. Okay. India is among the top 5 globally service exports. If I specifically talk about financial year 2025, considering April se leke September tak, services export growth has surged to 12.8% versus 5.7% in the year of financial year 2024. Now imports also grew 13.9% versus 2.9% decline in financial year 2024. Now you can see the chart here, which is specifically related to the services exports as percentage of services, specifically talking about the net of public administration. So now if you see the case of 2023, so it is reaching at what, 22%. Now we'll see that what are the source of financing. If I specifically talk about banking credit, now financing means what, that everything is related to rupee, or you can say your investment, your how you're keeping your money. If you're taking loan, that is also related to your financing. So we'll see that whatever, of course we are talking about boost of services, boost of different sectors, but just to bring in investment there, you need money. So bank credit that you're taking from banks just to bring boost to your services sector, or whatever the investment that is coming in your services sector, we will study all that now. Now you have total bank credit to services, so it is 48.5 lakh crore. There is an increase, year-on-year increase of 13%. And if you specifically talk about highest credit growth, you can see computer software includes 22.4%, 22.5%. Professional services include 19.4%. Similarly, if you talk about FDI equity inflow, so it includes $29.8 billion with $5.7 billion in services only. So out of, if I specifically talk about inflows here, FDI equity inflows, whatever the amount is coming from outside, specifically talking about equity, it consists of $29.8 billion, and out of which, $5.7 billion is solely of services only. Now you have top of FDI recipients in services, that includes your insurance, financial sector. Now you can see that here we are talking about the FDI inflow in the within the financial your services sector. So among everything you have financial. If I specifically talk about financial year 2023, so your financial sector is leading here, and if I talk about April se leke September tak financial year 2025, so insurance sector is leading here. Okay. Now we have progress in the logistics as well as your physical connectivity, Indian Railways. Okay. So what are the services that we are providing in the railways? So we will see that what is the position here. So it is at the 4th largest network globally, and if I specifically talk about the passenger traffic, that has grown by 8% year on year, and freight revenue is up by 5.2%, specifically talking about 2024. Now, what are the facilities, what are the amenities we are providing to passengers just to give them ease? So it has upgraded over the period of time. So you can see 7,325 stations nationwide has been upgraded here, which includes your train indication boards, coach guidance system, digital clocks, a public address system, Wi-Fi at 6,112 stations. So it also includes your mobile catering policy that was there in 2023. So it includes your 557 base kitchen that serve 468 train pairs. Now you have digitalization of Indian Railways also. So e-ticketing. Under reserved digital ticketing is also there. Now you have refund system upgraded. Now you have QR based payments that has enabled at all counters, so it is also making them ease. Similarly, you have passenger reservation system that is being redeveloped using your cloud native high-tech. So also, if I talk about, the railway system, so railways is continuously doing its best just to bring improvement in the railway sector, doing the, by integration of your technologies, by the integration of your digitalization, by integration of AI, so that we can bring best services to its customers and we can bring development in the railway sector also. Now you have Bharat Gaurav Trains, which is one of the tourism initiatives. Now this is theme-based tourism circuit trains showing India's heritage. Now 325 trips have been operated, carrying 1,91,033 tourists across various destinations. Take it. Now this is, the progress that is related to India's, you can say, railways freight traffic, and that is related to your progress in the railways passenger traffic. Now we will talk about the roadways transport. So you can see that, it dominates transport services, contributing 78% of the transport GVA. Okay, now what we are doing, so we are continuously, enhancing our highway user convenience, which includes a FASTag implementation. So, we have done this thing that, this was also the case when, people, or you can say, the vehicles used to stop, they used to pay, they used to get the slip, and this was taking a lot of time. So with the means of FASTag, government has reduced the, the traffic system, because when one car is stopped, a lot, the queue starts from there, a lot, long queue start from there. So the government has just ensured this thing that a time is reduced. Of course, the traffic should not be there, and whatever, while they're crossing the roads, that should be very quick in a manner. So through the help of digitalization, they have eased this thing also. They've reduced the toll plaza waiting time from 734 seconds to just 74 seconds. Now the barrier-free tolling on 4-lane plus your national highways by 2029, this is what government is ensuring, and 1,000 plus wayside amenities have been planned in the next 5 years, every 40 to 60 kilometer on national highways. Now what are the road safety measurements that government has taken? So one is cashless treatment subsidy, your cashless treatment scheme for road accident victims, driving training infrastructure, health and safety programs is also there, which includes your Abhay project for truck drivers' health, and eye test and health checkups for drivers also. Now we'll talk about aviation, which includes flying high. So India is the fastest growing aviation market globally. So this is one of the things that India does. Massive aircraft order has been placed to meet the rising air traffic. And similarly, if I talk about MRO industry boost, so it includes your government encouraging your OEM just to set up facilities in India. Similarly, it includes new policies that are aligning sector with the global standards. And we have Gati Shakti here. Now, I have told you many a times that Gati Shakti is a program which is just related to the infrastructure, which is ensuring this thing that through the enhancement of the infrastructure, we'll ensure that we are improving the connectivity also, and we are reducing the time. So Gati is just related to your speed. Now you can see that seamless multimodal connectivity is just ensured here, which is integrated with the civil aviation, with railways, road, and your waterways also. Take it. Now we'll see that the chart says, it is just related to the passenger traffic handled at international intervals, and is your passenger traffic that is handled at a domestic interval. So you can see here that, international terminals are the one which is high. Now you can see the progress in the airway cargo traffic international. So, your export cargo that is handled at airports. Still similarly, you have import cargo that is handled at airports. Now we'll talk about port, waterways, shipping, sea of opportunities. So major ports expanding capacity to meet the rising trade demand that is there. Now if we specifically talk about cargo handle, so it is just 819 metric ton. Target kya hai? To make it achieve to 870 metric ton by financial year 2025. 622 has been handled already. Maritime vision initiatives ki agar main baat karu, so you have Maritime India Vision 2030, Maritime Amritkal Vision by 2047. Goal kya hai? Just to position India among top 5 in shipbuilding and repair by 2047. Now you have inland water transport and national waterways that are there. So passenger movement has been surged right from 67 lakh to 3.36 crore, and you can see that within a period of 1 year only, you see that there is a huge rise here. One is your navigable, your waterways. So this includes 14,850 kilometer in total, out of which 26 are operational. And similarly, you have government promoting river cruise tourism also to boost the inland water connectivity. Now you can see the chart here. which tells you the improvement in the port traffic. Now you have navigable length also, which is there for the operational waterways in the different states. Now we'll talk about tourism as well as hospitality. So hospitality includes rest of the things, which is including your, your you can say, your hotels as well as your restaurants. So this includes that tourism sector and GDP contribution has been restored to 5%. Specifically talking about financial year 2023, employment generation is there, which includes 7.6 crore jobs. International tourists has also arrivals are also there, which are rebounded to pre-pandemic levels. And India's, if I specifically talk about India's ITA share, so you can see here it is just 1.45% of global ITAs, and we are continuously doing our best just to improve it. And similarly, you can see that foreign exchange earnings that are at $28 billion, and India has been ranked 14th globally in the world tourism receipts. So you can see here that domestic tourist visits rebounded to pre-pandemic level, and we have international tourist arrivals and your foreign exchange earnings through your tourism. Now you can see here we are going to talk about real estate, where we will talk about building your economy. So it says that you have strong growth in official as well as your residential sectors due to economic stability and connective improvement. So India is ranking 31st. If I specifically talk about global real estate transparency index, that is that was there in 2024. Similarly, you have housing demand projection that is there 93 million units by 2036. Real estate investment trust is just boosting commercial your sector liquidity. Residential real estate includes 11 11-year high sales, and year-on-year growth is 11%. Okay. Similarly, you have the chart. You can see here that it is specifically talking about the outstanding loan, housing and commercial real estate. So this includes your housing, and this includes your commercial real estate. Now we'll talk about the regulatory as well as your digital advancements. So you can see REAR, or you can say the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act. So we have specifically focused on prevention of fraud. Transparency has been improved. Timely projection deliveries are also getting ensured. Similarly, we have GST implications also, which has ensured a type of unified tax system, which has ensured this thing that high involvement of investment is there. The time is also reduced. The confusion of the tax paying is also reduced over the period of time. You have digital reforms, which includes online building approvals for faster processing. Digital India land records are there. Modernization program just to improve the transparency, land management. Now we'll talk about business services. So you can see here India's IT as well as your India's ITs industry remains a global leader and a major contributor to exports. Financial year 2024 industry revenue is at $254 billion with 3.8% year-on-year growth. Tech exports include $200 billion and domestic market includes $54 billion only. Now employment includes 60,000 new jobs. Total workforce is 5.43 million. And if I specifically talk about key reforms that has bring improvement here, so angel tax abolition is the one, just to bring improvement in the startup ecosystem. Similarly, you have simplified transfer pricing and tax reforms also, which has proven best to enhance your IT exports. Similarly, you have GST relief on data center exports also. Now you can see the chart here, the improvement that is associated here, which is just related to employment. This is related to your revenue, total revenue. This is just related to your domestic part, and this is just related to your exports. Now we'll see about the global capacity centers. Okay, so these are the kind of centers जहाँ पे क्या करा जाता है, the services are provided, you can say the MNCs shift you can say the services in the rest of the nations which are the lower paying, or you can say the lower income countries here, in which the services like your what services you can include, the financial services, the IT services, they are included here, and they just reach out to the parent company. So that is what makes your global capacity centers. So India's global capacity centers grew from 1430 to 1700. GCC workforce that is covered here, so that is your 1.9 million professionals. High value shift kitna hai? Engineering, research and development, GCC is growing 1.3x faster than general, your GCCs. Similarly here, if I talk about that, what are the key sectors that are associated here? So aerospace is the one, defense is the one, semiconductors is the one. India's global STEM workforce share kitna hai? So it is 28% of the global STEM talent and 23% of the global software engineers also. Now AI adoption in the services sector in India. So the survey say that it is, the AI is doing its best to bring improvement in the services sector. Now we'll see that what are they. Specifically talking about finance, so several financial institutions are there which are using AI just to enhance their operations, just to enhance their customers' experience, just to streamline their services. For example, we have SBI Intelligent Assistant. Now this is very, very important for you. This is very, very important for you because last time in the RBI grade B examination, this question was asked that how development, what is the role of AI in the banking sector? This question was asked that what is the role of AI in the banking sector. So role of AI is very, very important. And you also have to remember its role in each and every sector. So SBI Intelligent Assistance is the one. It's a kind of chatbot that provides support to the customers. Similarly, you have Telecom. So it is also there just to bring improvement in the customer support, network optimization, productive maintenance, and it also has taken many of the opportunities. For example, you have AI-driven platforms for end-to-end telecom network management. Now they are built on top of state-of-the-art big data architecture, just touching upon every aspect of the network. Okay, we have retail and e-commerce. Now this is also for the personalized marketing, inventory management and customer experience enhancement. The fashion e-commerce giants are using advanced features just to enable their customers to have an enhanced and discovery-led shopping experience. Similarly, you have AI, which is specifically related to your transport as well as your logistics also. Now they are used for route planning, optimization, just to ensure the timely delivery of packages is done. Now you have telecommunication. So India is holding second largest telecom market with 1.18 billion subscribers and your 84% tele density that is there. Now user, or specifically say about broadband users, so it is now 941 million. World leader in mobile data consumption we are per subscriber with lowest data rates globally. Now here we are focusing on 5G also, adoption of 5G also, that makes it what. So this is the chart that is associated with it. This is just related to your average wireless data usage per data user per month. Now we'll see about CDOT, the catalyst of India's telecom sector. So we have commitment here for the research and development of indigenous solutions in reducing the dependency on the foreign technology. So here we are focusing on our own technologies and we are focusing on this thing that we should have less dependency on the foreign technologies. Now you can see that here we are going to talk about 4G and 5G core networks. So it's been instrumental in the developing indigenous 4G and 5G code solutions that reduces your reliance on the global vendors, and it helps in the reduction of the telecom exports also. Now we'll talk about quantum communication systems. So you can see here that we have developed a quantum encryption solutions which ensures the secure communication. We have disaster management solutions also, which are using technology which are geo-targeted and automatic. Your automated multi-hazard, multimedia, early warnings, alerts are there to the citizens. They have just reinforced India's resilience against the natural disaster. You have similarly, steps that has been taken that are related to your cyber security as well as resilience. So CDOT has developed a Samvad app. Samvad app is there which provides security to the call and chats, sharing text, images, audio, video files, and it has deployed a strategic organization also. Now here for the developmental of or the upliftment of the domestic telecom, your ecosystem. So through this your RPC collaboration research program, we are doing this thing that we are fostering our indigenous telecom innovative by partnering with the industry players, which is ensuring this thing that we improve over the period of time. The National Initiative for Development Harnessing Your Innovation, which is NIDI, and Avishkar program have been done. They have been launched by the government just to nurture innovation and ideas into startups. So this is also very important. ठीक है. Now we have open network for digital commerce, thinking beyond platforms. So the pandemic has underscored the critical role of digital commerce in enabling your business continuity as well as your customer access to the essentials. Now we have digital commerce that has played a huge role in enabling your resiliency in the economy. Okay. Now we have few large e-commerce players which are your you can say which dominate the market. So basically if I talk about your ONDC program, okay, ONDC program, so this is what, this is a market, or you can say this is government oriented program which is above your traditional e-commerce apps. For example, you have Amazon, you have Flipkart, this is just above that. Now taking an example here, so for example, if there is an individual who wants to sell their product online, so it is a kind of e-marketplace that has been provided by the government of India, in which government says that firstly you have to register yourself here, and for example, there is a person. So a person has registered itself under ONDC app, so it has registered itself here. Now another person who wants to purchase that particular commodity, for example, if there is any cloth or something that is related to textile industry, so the one who has uploaded the images, its product that has been there in ONDC, so it has uploaded that thing. Now there is an B individual who is in need of that particular product. So if that particular individual searched about the textile, or you can say any of the kurti that has been sold by A person, now it has the B person has researched about that. Now B person has seen that okay, if, good rating has been given to this A person, so she clicks on that, she scrolls down, she goes from the content that the images, the videos that particular person has uploaded. Now she likes it and purchases it. So the entire process has been so smooth in a manner that heavy costs are avoided. So now A person do not need that whatever the transaction has been done, the B person she has updated the address, she has done the payment already. Now that entire payment goes into the account of what your A person. Now under the previous e-commerce apps, the person has to pay a lot hefty amount to those apps only. So now this thing is avoided here. That is the reason it is called as a next step to the traditional apps. Now you can see here that it represents a paradigm shift, promoting your democratic, interoperable your digital commerce ecosystem, thus fostering your inclusivity as well as your equity. Now you can see that rest of the data that is just included here. So benefits of the business, what are the benefits that are provided to the business here? So supply chain resilience is there, single point integration is there, instant scalability is there, and cost optimization is also included here. Now you can say that scaling your new frontiers, thinking beyond the traditional your e-commerce apps. So logistics as a services, so it provides help in the intercity logistics services also. So logistics services as in that you have partnership with, for example, you have delivery, है ना, यही spelling है ना delivery के, this is DLHI. So this is what, this is one of the that provides logistic services. So one who has you can say given an order. Now A will do what? A will pack the order and provide it to this delivery app, and this will provide the logistic services. So this is talking about that only. Okay. Similarly, you have financial services. So you can see here that it indicates with the account aggregators for data. Locker is there. Aadhaar for KYC is there. E-Natch is there. E-Mandate for repayment, and Aadhaar e-signing is also there. Enabling coverage, that is enhancing your inclusivity, is also included here. Now we'll come on to the conclusion. So we'll see that what all was related here, what all we studied, and what can be the way forward. So we studied here that we know this thing, that there are a lot of global instabilities that are going on, but still services is contributing its best. And if I compare it with the the above, or I would say it was something related to 62 से लेके 64% के बीच में, it was just contributing to the global trade that is going on. So you see this thing that more than half of the the contribution that is solely done by services only. Now the key transformations that are there, so technology driven driven domestic services transformation is there, diversification of the services exports is there, which includes your financial and professional services, which are leading the shift, contributing 45% of the total service GAV growth. Similarly, you have global trends which are associated with the services and driving growth, even in the economies experiencing your manufacturing slowdowns. Similarly, you have emerging risks and challenges that are associated here. So IT and professional services face regulatory scrutiny, due to concerns that are over quality of offshore work, supervision, language barrier, confidentiality, as well as your compliance gaps. So these risks could impact your export-led services growth. Similarly, you have services manufacturing linkages as well as your AI disruption also. So servicification of manufacturing is the one which includes your manufacturing is increasing, that relies on the services, post-production value addition and digital integration is there. Growth in one sector fuels the others. Okay? So if you have growth in the one sector, for example, if you have growth in the logistics sector, of course your connectivity will be improved. Okay? Your e-commerce apps will face improvement. So this is, if there is improvement in one sector, of course it is it leads to improvement in another sector. As I give you an example of primary, secondary and tertiary activities. So I have told you that if there is an improvement in the primary sector, of course it will boost your industrial sector, and then it will give boost to your services sector also. So there is an interconnectedness in between. So now you have AI and digital tech, they are also reshaping your industries and it is impacting your various segments here. Even if I talk about finance, digital commerce, similarly you have retail, you have telecom, and you have transportation also. Now what are the two focus areas which will enhance or give boost in our future? So one, skilling for digital AI driven economy should be there. Similarly, you have workforce that should require, or that requires digitalization and inclusivity also. Now you have budget 2024-25 initiatives on skilling must be implemented through the government, private sector and training institutes as well. Regulatory reforms and process simplification, they need to review and amend the complex rules. For example, I told you an example of GST. It has bring ease here. Similarly, we need to take other improvements also which can bring ease of doing business, compliance and reforms as a critical for the sustained development. Now is a question for all of you. So here is a paragraph based on which I have referred here as A, B, C, and you have to give me an answer. So A are emerging as strategic hubs reshaping the Indian corporate landscape while influencing the global business dynamics. The number in India has grown approximately from B from financial year 19 se leke 24, and as of 24 in India it employed nearly 1.9 million professionals. Over the past 5 years, India has remained at C of its global expansion strategy with more than 400 new and around 1100 new units established. So B refers to what? Is it Gift City? Is it PLI? Is it Gati Shakti? Is it Global Capacity Center, Global Capability Centers, or SBI Intelligent Assistance? So you have D as a correct answer, which includes your Global Capability Centers. Now B stands for what? Is it 1430 से लेके 1700 तक, 1500 से लेके 1794 तक, 1300 से लेके 1547 तक, या फिर 1724 से लेके 1900 तक, या फिर is it 1240 से लेके 1647 तक? So correct answer is A, which includes your 14302 to 1700. Similarly, you have C stands for what? Is our GCC standing at forefront, vanguard, pioneer, cutting edge, या फिर leading? So the correct answer is again A. So these are the questions that are associated with it. Of course, we are done with the 8 chapters. We are left with few only, and one by one we will complete them also. I hope each and everything is just clear to each and every person, every aspirant here. And yes, I'm leaving here and I'll meet you in the next chapter. Till then, keep revising. Thank you so much.